You see a wilting plant. You reach for the watering can. You think you're rescuing it. But that plant started dying 3 days ago, underground and invisible. By the time your eyes caught it, most of the damage was already done. A typical gardener waits for the classic signs. They check the soil surface, see a dry, dusty crust, and assume it is time to irrigate. They look for crisp, brown leaf edges or the unmistakable sag of a stem before they finally reach for the watering can. It feels like attentive care, a responsive partnership between grower and plant. But this visual checklist is a quiet trap. By the time a leaf physically droops, the root system has already spent days struggling in dry soil, depleted of its moisture reserves. Dry topsoil is an unreliable proxy for root zone conditions several inches down, and those brown edges often signal older stress rather than immediate thirst. Relying on sight means reacting to a crisis that has already peaked. But the story beneath the soil goes even deeper. Long before a single stem begins to droop, the root system operates as an active, highly sophisticated detector. It is here, at the microscopic tips of the roots, that the first survival decisions are made. These root tips are the plant's earliest sensors of drying soil. The moment moisture levels drop, these subterranean sentinels stop elongating. Growth halts. Instead of expanding outward, the plant redirects its precious energy, focusing its entire physiology on water-seeking behavior. Before the leaves have any visual indication of danger, the roots have already launched a molecular defense, sending urgent chemical messages traveling upward through the vascular highway of the xylem. They are broadcasting an early warning system to the rest of the organism. An invisible emergency has begun beneath the surface, while everything above looks perfectly calm. What happens next surprised even professional horticulturists. As the chemical alarm rises from the roots, the leaves begin a silent lockdown. On the underside of a single leaf, up to 300,000 microscopic valves called stomata act as microscopic gatekeepers. To prevent water from evaporating, these tiny pores clamp shut. It is a brilliant survival defense, but it comes at a severe cost. Restricting these openings blocks carbon dioxide from entering, instantly choking the plant's food production. Within hours, photosynthesis plunges by up to 40%. The sudden drop in sugar production starves the root system below, halting the very growth needed to search for water. And this is where the invisible emergency truly begins. As water levels fall, the root system synthesizes a powerful chemical messenger, abscisic acid. This drought hormone floods the plant's vascular highway within hours, broadcasting a systemic alarm. It shifts the plant from local defense to survival triage. To protect its core, the organism makes ruthless sacrifices. It begins aborting delicate flower buds and dropping older leaves, abandoning its own future growth to preserve whatever moisture remains. If you want to uncover more of these hidden plant secrets, subscribe for new science-backed insights every week. When a plant finally wilts, it is not starting to get thirsty. The physical collapse is actually the final chapter of a 72-hour shutdown. For 3 days, photosynthesis has been flatlining, forcing the plant to systematically abandon its oldest leaves to keep its crown alive. The visible droop is not an early warning. It is the structural aftermath of an internal starvation process. Waiting for this collapse to happen means consistently watering after the critical window has closed. To break this cycle, gardeners must stop relying on visual panic and learn to look below the surface before the collapse begins. Testing the root zone directly bypasses this visual panic. The classic 2-inch finger test reaches the actual environment where active roots live, bypassing the dry, deceptive surface crust. For a deeper assessment, push a wooden chopstick into the pot and leave it in place for 60 seconds. When pulled out, any soil clinging to the wood shows that sufficient moisture is still present. Alternatively, gravity itself provides an immediate answer. A dry terracotta pot feels dramatically lighter than a freshly watered one. These immediate checks replace equipment anxiety with simple, confident daily judgment. To bypass human error entirely, self-watering pots with wicking systems offer a permanent resolution. These setups allow the root system to draw water passively on demand, maintaining a steady equilibrium. The soil remains in a perfect state, never bone dry, yet never waterlogged. By eliminating the destructive cycle of dehydration and sudden rehydration, The plant avoids triggering the hormonal emergency system altogether. This consistent access to moisture allows photosynthesis to run at peak capacity, ultimately producing up to 30% more biomass than irregular manual watering. It transforms plant care from a series of rescues into steady, effortless growth. True care begins in the silence, days before the wilt. How do you decide when to water? Subscribe for more plant revelations.